All right, welcome back to NYJF. As you see, we are currently one man down. We're waiting on prime time. Kev Sirkin, he's coaching baseball tonight, so showing up a little bit late in his prime time producer style. But the good news is we have a lot to talk about tonight in a what has been a kind of a bizarre offseason week. We got Darrelle Revis back in the social media mixing it up with Asante Samuel. So we'll definitely dive into that. A bizarre tweet that Rob and I were going back and forth on about Jermaine Johnson and being a make or break year for him, which we're getting the gamut of just complete nonsense run on us. And that's what happens, I guess, when you're getting ready to be on top of the game and people are trying to bring you down. So we got to get used to that type of nonsense all season. I'm fine with that. But the big news today, I'll pass it off to Ed and Rob shortly to get into it. I'm sorry. Before we get into the Quinnen Williams news, which obviously that is the big news of the day, I do want to pass it off to Ed because I know Ed has some stuff he wants to talk about as it relates to where he was last week and that whole story.
Listen, all the Jet Nation. There's a fella down in Norfolk, Virginia. His name is John Monhay. Go to his GoFundMe page. He had an accident, came off a boat, dove off a boat, and he broke his vertebrae. And he's fighting right now. He's lost feeling, and he's a great guy. His family's phenomenal. They're all Jet fans. They bleed the green and white, man. And I went down and seen him and love the guy. I love the guy. So if you can find it in your heart to donate for the GoFundMe, he could really use it. He's battling, and I know he's gonna have a good recovery there. I believe that. So if you get a chance, just take a look at that GoFundMe, John Monhay. Okay, thank you.
Amazing. So, yeah, we're going to try to do a couple things for John throughout the course of the year. I know we have a couple things we're working on behind the scenes, so hopefully we can put that all together. But definitely, I'm looking forward to trying to do whatever we can to help him out. Now, with that said, Quinnen Williams, we've been kind of getting into it the last couple of weeks. We got our guy back, man. And, one thing I'm curious about and curious to get your guys' thoughts, like the last time that we had, and Ed, I know, like, looking back on it, in hindsight, it's always 2020, right? But like when we extended Mo Wilkerson, we were fired up about that. He's a local guy. We drafted him. He was great. He was a Pro Bowler, and and then after he got paid, his career was just derailed. And speaking for myself personally, like if I woke up tomorrow morning and I had $66 million guaranteed dollars in the bank, it'd be, for real, if I'm being honest, hard for me to go to work. Like you wake up and have that kind of life-changing money appears. So are you guys in any way concerned, and I know, but like, what's the motivation, if you're not really fully locked in on how much you love the sport and how, and driven by championships and stuff like that, it could be real easy to feel like that you made it when you wake up with that kind of money. So do you guys have any concern whatsoever, and with any of these contracts, that it could go in that direction potentially, or just don't even think about that and just hope for the best?
I don't listen. I think that Quinnen's a different guy, man. He's driven by his mom. His mom dying. I mean, that's in the forefront of his mindset. He always mentions his mom. He wants to make her proud, and Quinnen's a different guy, man. He wants to win. You could see. What about his interview right after the season? I mean, he had a real good season, but he says he could just get better and better. He wants to be the best. He wants to be the best. He wants to win a world championship. I mean, if we're ever going to pay the money, that was the guy to pay the money to. That was the guy to pay the money to. You see all the responses from all of the players today. Did you see them? They responded like one after the other. Listen, he deserved it. He represents the New York Jet fans and the organization so well, and the fan base is excited about him. What do you think, Rob?
I actually have zero worries about Quinnen and getting that money. One of the reasons why is you see the way his brother is on the team. Quinnen is actually like excited, as all of us would be if our brother was actually playing right next to us. So with that being said, the money that he got, he deserved it. And he was actually willing to sit down until he actually received his money. And at that point, he's talked about being the best. And when you have a guy talking about being the best, it doesn't matter, at any point in time, when he gets to the point where he feels like he's compensated enough, which he is now, now it's just for him to just go out and play. And we see the difference that he makes when he's on the field, on that defense. I think I saw a stat today that said the Jets defense goes from like 31st to 1st when he's on the field as far as sack rate goes. So, when he sees stuff like that, and everybody else around the league knows, and everyone around the league knew that he deserved to be right now one of the highest paid defensive linemen in the league. So, when you have a guy like that, man, and he's all about, the team when it comes to being on the field, and he's all about off the field, making sure that he was actually just there for his family. And once that's out of the way, he can just go play. And now he's at that point where he's like, all right, you know what? I got the next 5 years. I can just go play. And that's pretty much what you're going to get from him. He's that high character guy, man. You don't worry about, things off the field. And when he's there, he's going to be there ready to play. Every week, he's going to be ready to come to practice when he needs to practice. And, he's just that guy, man. You don't worry about him now.
He's the MVP.
That Mo Wilk situation was just an unfortunate situation, man. He got his money. The team was totally different. The dynamic of the team was totally different. We used to talk about it every week, especially with me and Ed. When I used to say, defense it's a different ball game with those guys at that point in time, man. You could see the rebellion that they had at that point in time when Mo actually got paid, man, and the way that season was going with him and Sheldon and those guys. But
Look who joined us. Look
My
who
bad,
made it.
guys. I'm sorry about that.
Speaking of people who want to hit the big time, they forget all about you.
So my bad.
You're good, man. You're good. We were just talking about actually the Quinnen Williams contract, and I had asked Ed and Rob. I'm curious to get your take on and I don't want this question to be taken the wrong way, because at the end of the day, like, I love Quinnen Williams, and I think that, like, if it's great that we're in a situation where we're finally drafting guys that we're paying second contracts to that are stepping up, showing out, and Pro Bowlers, All Pro. Quinnen Williams is a beast, and he really came into his own this year. So I'm super happy about the contract. I'm just curious. I was likening it a little bit to like when Mo Wilkerson got paid, and we loved that concept of him getting paid because he got drafted here. He was a local guy. He was doing everything right on and off the field, and he got paid, and we were pumped. And then, it's hard to, I think, sometimes if you're not driven by championships and, potentially to wake up and see 66 million in the bank and show up and still be hungry. So I was curious what your thoughts are on if you think that is even a potentially
two things with Wilkerson. He was also coming off the broken leg at Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that was important. But I mean, with Quinnen Williams, he's 25 years old. He's 26. So a 4-year deal on top of the 5th-year option. This kid's still going to be in his prime. And with Wilkerson, there was stuff going on behind the scenes that we didn't know at the time. As fans, we were like, yeah, this is the local kid, homegrown, doing all the right things. But he was late to meetings. There were things going on that wasn't getting released to the media. So as far as Quinnen Williams is concerned, other than the little dust up with the defensive line coach when he wasn't playing enough snaps last year, he's been fine. He's been a model citizen. He's gotten better every year. So to me, he's earned every penny that he's gotten.
Oh, he definitely earned it. I'm not saying he hasn't earned. I guess because I'm a Met fan and everything, and Jeff, like, you just see these contracts go out, and then you start to think like, how can this go wrong? You know what I mean? So like, I'm trying to get over that mentality.
It's nice to have a young player that we actually feel good about playing.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm not even thinking that way.
Yeah.
And it affects the other guys on the team. You got all young blood there, so they're looking. You got AVT and Brees Hall and Sauce and Garrett, and you go on, these guys are going to get paid, and they're looking and seeing what the organization is doing with the, a model of citizenship. I mean, what more do you want from Quinnen Williams? I mean, he's done everything that you could possibly want as a player. He's a role model. He's the MVP of the team. He talks correctly. He's a leader. When Elijah Moore acted up, he spoke out. He's the guy in the locker room. He's the guy that, he don't have to be the most boisterous guy, but he's the guy that they respect. They look at him, they see his work ethic, and he comes every day. And, what he says means something. So, listen, that is a staple of the Jet organization. This is a Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh stamp.
And
this is our guy.
Don't you guys think it also sends the right message to the locker room? Like, this wasn't even one of Joe Douglas's picks, and they took care of him because he did all the right things. So now, what do you think AVT and Brees Hall and Garrett? What do you think these guys are thinking? I do the right thing. He's going to take care of me.
$1 million.
Yeah, one of the things is, even though he might not have been a Joe D pick, I can tell you right now, if Joe D was actually the GM at that time, he would have taken Quinnen. So he's his type of guy, and the stamp is there. And with Quinnen around, like you said, Ed, he doesn't have to be the most vocal guy in the locker room. Guys actually pay attention to other guys who actually come to work every day, put the time in, and make it happen on the field.
Lunch pail.
And if you speak up every once in a while, guys are going to listen because they know you're that guy putting in the work. And he's the follow me guy. Just follow me, and we'll be all right. And other guys are going to follow right along, and they have other guys on the team that are just like him. Like you just said, Ed, you got Sauce, who just coming off a great rookie year. He's still putting in the work. He puts in the work every day. Garrett is the same way. AVT, those guys actually go in and they look forward to going to work. So that's a pleasant thing that the Jets haven't had in a while. And I think like for Jay and other fans like him, it's always that what can go wrong now. So that stigma is kind
like
of
him, Rob. Come on, man.
But it's true.
No
You see it out there. I mean, we see the words from everybody out there, and it's like what can go wrong now. But that stigma is turning, so it's not like what can go wrong now. It's like, all right, we got things going in the right direction. So it's a pleasant thing to see.
Did you guys see Mike Tannenbaum's tweet today? Mike Tannenbaum's tweet today was epic. It was funny. He said something along the lines of like, yeah, probably best they don't go into Hard Knocks with a holdout situation. That man's been there before. Crazy. It was funny.
I mean, it's great. That's fodder that they don't have now on Hard Knocks, so you can get that out of the way real quick.
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell you something. So switching topics now, I want to move over to the Darrelle Revis social media situations that are going on because this is funny. Because let me tell you what's happened now to me over the last couple of weeks. All these people coming after Darrelle Revis has made me feel closer as a fan to Darrelle Revis. I've been embracing this. Now I got to defend him against Asante Samuel and this clown from the Lions, whatever his name was, Gardner Johnson or whatever. It's like, where is this all coming from? Like, people are like, Asante Samuel is trying to say like he was a better cornerback than Darrelle Revis, like a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're like, the guy's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame in a couple of weeks, and you're coming after him. Hasn't sniffed the Hall of Fame. Like Asante Samuel is a decent player, but I mean, what are we doing here? Like, Kev, what are your thoughts on Asante Samuel's comments?
I mean, he's trying to, play the interception card because he had 51 interceptions in his career. But I mean, if you watched Revis, how many games did he not even get targeted? So like when he's completely taking away one side of the field, he's not going to get those targets. So to me, he still had more of an impact on the game than Asante Samuel ever did. But that's just my take. Rob, you probably have a better take on this than me.
Asante is one of those guys, man, that took a lot of chances. So he got beat quite often. When he took those chances. And don't get me wrong, he's a great cover corner, but there was only one island. Anytime you guys see me actually react to Twitter sometimes like that, man, I always put that one comment. There was only one island, and Revis had it. So, there wasn't too many other guys that were around that you could say were just going to be the guy to actually shut down an entire side of the field so the defense could do whatever they wanted on the others, for the rest of the game. You had Revis, Dion, and just a handful of other guys that were like that. And it's I guess it's just that time of the year where things were getting boring, and guys were just ready to see football, to watch football, to make it happen, and just get training camps underway. So guys are making like kind of outlandish, comments here and there. But yeah, I really have no idea what Asante was thinking when he first made the first comments, and then he added sauce into the mix. So it was just a little, it was just weird where all of a sudden just came out of nowhere because he hadn't been tweeting a whole lot, and then all of a sudden he just comes out of nowhere with all of this, this fuel for everybody, and it just became one of those social media things, man. It just kind of took off and became comical after a while.
It's just so funny because Asante Samuel says, they're going back and forth, and Asante Samuel's like, Rivas said something along the lines of like, I barely even know who this guy is. Like, and Asante Samuel's like, look me up in the record books, where are you at? And Rivas is like, first ballot Hall of Famer, mother sucker. It's just like, and he's right. It's like where does Asante Samuel go from there? The dude was a legit first ballot Hall of Famer. It's just silly to be like starting fights, picking fights with people who are clearly better than you. It's like I love Robbie Anderson, but it's like if Robbie Anderson was going after Jerry Rice, it would just be crazy. Like, what are we doing here? Ed?
Some guys have no filter, man. Some guys and remember, they're on their phone so much, man. They're on either an iPad, phone, or computer. They're that's the new life we have, man. It's just right there. It's access. So they start commenting on, it all started, right, with the ratings for corners, right? And then
that's what it was. That was the weird part about it. That was like the super weird part about it. It was like execs and coaches and everything else. And Asante jumped in with New York media. It's like, okay, New York media had nothing to do with this. Like, what are you talking about? So
he just decided he was aggravated at, I guess who knows? He has an agenda, but he looks like a horse's ass. And then the first thing they bring up, the haters, the first thing they do, they bring up him dropping that ball in the Super Bowl to make them 19-0 because he catches that ball. And, that's the undefeated season, right? That the Patriots so wanted. That's a catch-22 for Jeff fans because you got the Giants wind up winning. And, so we didn't win either way there. So, that's a whole
for that Super Bowl. I was rooting for the Giants. I put money on the Giants in that Super Bowl. I couldn't root for the Patriots. Look, you want to have some interest in the Super Bowl. You want to put a couple bucks down, right, to make the game at least enjoyable when you have a terrible, awful matchup like Giants Patriots. But I wound up that Super Bowl was funny because I wound up winning not only my bet. I took the Giants money line and like the under, whatever it was, but I also hit in my pool. I had $100 box and I hit. It was the craziest thing because I think at the end there was like a Hail Mary or something, right? And like ball was floating in the air, and I don't know, my heart's.
I don't really want to talk about. I ain't into talking about the Giants or the Patriots. Forget that. Those days are over. It's all about the Jets right now. It's all about the Jets.
That's fair. So on the third topic, of just complete craziness going on social media. Actually, I saw Rob commented on it first before I even saw the original tweet, but the Draft Network put out that this is a make or break season for Jermaine Johnson.
Oh my God.
And I start thinking to myself, like, if you're going to call a guy out like that, like call it a make or break season, that would probably mean that he was terrible his first year and he needs to have a bounce back year in his second year. But all I remember of Jermaine Johnson is making the game saving freaking sack on Josh Allen, basically winning us that Buffalo game, showing, burst. He didn't get, he didn't get that much burn. He was on the bench a lot, situational pass rush. But what are we doing with this make or break season for Jermaine Johnson nonsense? Like, where does that even come from? Is it just more clickbait bullshit?
That's what I just said. That's all it was. Like, you get guys that are just itching to actually have football started, and that was just a weird thing. The guy actually was talking about the depth on the Jets D line and the fact that they actually drafted another pass rusher, and it's like, well, this guy was first-round draft choice last year. Like, he's going into his second year. I can understand maybe it was his fourth year or so, but like, he's going into a second year. Make a break in your second year when you actually were injured part of your rookie season, and when you actually were on the field, you made plays. It's like, so sometimes, man, you just gotta wonder what these guys are actually thinking about, man, because I really don't think they think about what they really are saying, or making tweets or what they say in their podcast. And sometimes it's just the weirdest thing, man, to listen and read some of these tweets that these guys make.
I'll tell you what, that just, to me, it just tells you the state of the Jets, that they're going down the line to Jermaine Johnson because there's so many talented guys on that defensive line that they decided, let's just make a little statement about Jermaine Johnson, who was a rookie, didn't get a lot of playing time, and took the most of it when he did get his time. And, you know, so to me, that's just gives you a statement of just the power of the Jets. You don't see that in the past. That was never even talked about. I mean, we got so much depth on that defensive line that it's unbelievable. So they decided, well, Jermaine Johnson, it's a make or break for Jermaine Johnson. You know, come on, man. You know, but that's good because I like when they're talking about us. I love when they're talking about us. They never talked about us. Now all they're doing is talking about us. I tell the Jeff fans, embrace this. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Let them say Super Bowl champions or bust. Yes. 1,000,000%. You idiots. Yes. Yes. We love it. Bring it on. Bring more. We've been waiting. We're starving. We can't wait. Bring it on. Come on.
Put that comment back up, Jay. Put that comment back up.
I got it. Can y'all explain why there's so much hate for a team that in so many people's eyes isn't good? Why are we always the trending topic?
Easy fodder. That's just low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. That's what I was going to say.
And, trending topic. That's bullshit. Bullshit. You know what? When you're threatened, you react, and you are threatened. Right now, the Jets have a hell of a team. And if the football gods keep us relatively healthy, we are going to make some noise and be knocking where we want to be knocking. And that's all I'll say about that. Let the game.
That's actually one of the things. That's one of the things where you could put out the New York media that they always put out there. It was always something where the beat writers always had something negative to say about the team, so it just would take off. And you see all the other talk shows and ESPN and Fox Sports shows. They always had that low hanging fruit where they could always make some negative comments about the team, and it was just easy. When you got teams, a couple of different teams in around the city. You got the Jets and the Giants. Giants have won their Super Bowls. Jets haven't. You got Buffalo upstate, and they've become a good team now. And so it was always the green and white where we saw it years ago, man. We are always talking about this was a clown show. So where even if there was other crazy things going on with the other teams around, it was always something about the Jets. So it's just one of those things, man, where it was at this point in time, you can add the New York media to part of that, and the reason why it's always a negative trending topic for the team.
Disrespect.
Pretty much.
Disrespect is better than no respect at all. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, mother. Let's go. We're ready for you. I wish I could suit up. I want to hit a lot of people.
No lie. Shit. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was Mike Westhoff in the last episode of the first Hard Knocks. He had a nice quote on what you were just talking about. Forgot what the quote was. I was listening to it last night. He had some zingers in there. I was posting a few of them on Instagram.
And here's another topic that I find interesting. So, at first I was saying like I was a little bit worried about like the whole Hard Knocks thing, being a distraction and stuff like that. But as I've really had a chance to really digest it all, I mean, like I said, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, last time we were on Hard Knocks, the AFC was one of our most successful seasons in franchise history. So that's not an excuse. I mean, I know everyone Rob would call it fans like me, like to try to find the the worst scenario.
Sky's falling syndrome.
Yeah, but even I'm not stressing about Hard Knocks. I'm just gonna watch it and enjoy it. We all need to just buckle down and enjoy the season. Just enjoy the ride. All this extra attention, all the tension and all the drama and everything. I'm pumped about it.
That's the one thing I didn't understand why everybody was so worried about Hard Knocks. Because last time teams on the Hard Knocks were in the AFC Championship game and haven't been on there since. And it really wasn't a distraction back then for the team. So I don't understand why people thought it would be a distraction right now, especially with the group that's there as far as the coaching staff. Bunch of different players with different mindsets right now. So you got a great proven quarterback with the team right now. And I just didn't understand why people were so worried about the broadcast and the cameras being around. You got One Jets Drive that's always around and always posting something, and the camera's out there every day, for these guys, and they embrace it. So, it wasn't going to be a difficult situation for the players because the players didn't have to change anything other than, knowing that, HBO and Hard Knocks was going to be in the building basically as all the time. But, they don't have to change anything as far as their program goes and what they do every day, coming into the building, going out to practice and stuff like that. The only change, like I said a couple of weeks ago, was for the actual administrative part of the team itself, making room for those guys, in meetings and Joe D and Salah having to make room for those guys around for them. The players didn't really have to change anything at all. So I'm pretty sure they're pumped about it. They're probably gonna have fun with it.
Yo, I'm in the middle of like a hurricane right now. It's crazy out here. There's just lightning and like it looks like my windows are about to blow in my face. It's crazy. Anyway, Damian Woody said on Twitter, for anyone saying Hard Knocks is a distraction for the Jets organization is nonsense. The people at NFL Films do a wonderful job of just blending in behind the scenes. You trade for A-Rod. This is what you're going to get. Embrace it and have fun with it because we damn sure did back in 2010. I love that. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, if you're a fan and you're trying to say that you know better than what Damian Woody knows when he went through that experience, I mean, we all just got to chill out, I think, a little bit and kind of just like Damian Woody said, just embrace it, enjoy it.
You watch it, enjoy it, man. Enjoy it because the production of it is going to be great. So
it's going to be awesome.
Just have fun with it, man. It's just
you don't think these players are already attuned to the fact that Aaron Rodgers is in the building and that every media is going to be there all the time? NFL Network and NBC Sunday Night and ESPN and ABC and CBS, and you're going to go on and on and on. HBO, Hard Knocks, everybody's going to be there. Everybody that's anybody is going to be there. Aaron Rodgers is a magnet. It's a magnet. He's a magnet. He's a smart as hell guy. He's charismatic. He's a stud of a player. So he's everything that you could want, and he's opinionated. He says what's on his mind. So, I mean, they love that. They love it. And the players, listen, the players are going to embrace this because we've seen just a little glimpse of, right, in mini camp. We've seen the little glimpses of him. What did they say? He's in this meeting. He's in that meeting. He's over here. He's over there. They love all of that. They're going to embrace all of this. Bring them all. The media, bring it on. The players are saying bring it on because that's more footage for them. That's better for them. That's better for their brand, for the brand. Exactly. Remember the brand. So it's all there. The ultimate goal is to raise that Lombardi trophy. That's the bottom line. And you just signed Quinnen Williams, and he wants a Lombardi as much as anybody in that locker room. And thank God we signed them.
Jay, put that comment back up, the last one about the narrative.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, I think this year's the narrative. One Jets Drive. They control the narrative. For Hard Knocks, the producers control it.
The one thing different about that right now, though, is One Jets Drive is always in the building at the same time. So if HBO tries to do something crazy with the different narrative, right, One Jets Drive is right there. So they can put it out there and refute anything that Hard Knocks tries to say negative or change at any way at any point in time. One Jets Drive is right there. So
and you got Rex Hogan, who's the pit bull. He'll be up. My man Rex Hogan will take care of business. Rex, take care of that, Rex. Rex Hogan, take care of that. That's going to be the new star. Rex was the star. Rex Ryan was the star. Rex Hogan is behind the scenes. My man.
Rex Hogan's like the greatest name of like my two sports heroes basically growing up. We got Rex Ryan and Hulk Hogan mashed up into one. I love it. And then when Ed gets all fired up about Rex Hogan, it gets me even more excited.
It's crazy. You're gonna have Packers beat writers out here at Florham Park, trying to get quotes from Aaron to take back to Green Bay, man. So there's gonna be media credentials given out, man. This whole training camp is gonna be, it's gonna be kind of ridiculous. I can't wait to actually get out there and watch and just to see how many media members are actually standing on the sidelines at this point in time. And I see that lightning behind you, Jay. That looks a little crazy.
It's right in my face. It's I should turn it around and show you guys. It's crazy out there right now. Yeah, look, man. I think that end of the day, it's all going to be good. I mean, we're just going to, as fans, we're going to be able to sit back and watch more Jets coverage. Like, let's just get more all the Jets coverage. I'm into it. You think there's going to be weirdos like there were back when we got Brett Favre that were showing up with like Brett Favre like Jets jerseys and like cheese heads and stuff like that? You think we're going to get the Aaron Rodgers fans, that not the Packers fans, that are going to show up and all of a sudden be Jet fans and with cheese heads in the building?
Absolutely.
That's going to be crazy.
You're going to have all of that craziness around. Sure enough.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I'm wondering what they're going to get to take the place of the half hour of footage that they probably lost from all the Quinnen Williams negotiations, because that was going to take, I mean, the Revis negotiations the last time took up probably like a full episode when you added all 5 episodes that they did segments. So they got to find something for Q.
It's Aaron Rodgers now, so it's going to be all Aaron Rodgers. I guarantee you, first few episodes is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Whatever he's doing out there on the field, you're going to have some sprinkles of Garrett, some sprinkles of Brees in his rehab and making his comeback, but it's just Aaron Rodgers.
One Jets drive.
Every episode is going to be Aaron Rodgers, something, somewhere, somehow.
Do you guys remember when Rex Ryan was on the phone with Revis's agent? Was like, watch what fucking happens. Watch what happens, and then
his contract can't get a fucking deal done.
And then his replacement got cooked, and they got him on the phone. They got it signed like the next day. He showed up.
Hey, what did they do on One Jets Drive? They put a little promo out there right last night. And where did it start? Lake Tahoe, because Rodgers is playing that celebrity golf outing out there. It started right there. I mean, they showed a lake, and then you see him walking, and he's walking towards Packer fans that have Jet hats on, the little kids, Packer jerseys with Jet hats on. So, I mean, that just tells you, that pretty much is going to tell you where you're at. There's a lot of Packer fans, and a lot of the Packer fans are going to be Jet fans.
Plenty of room on the bandwagon. Hop aboard the bandwagon, Ed. They can come.
We don't play them, and we don't play them unless you play them in a Super Bowl. So they're gonna roof Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they just are. So you're going to have plenty of fans that are going to be out. Look, listen, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So embrace it, enjoy it. I can't say it enough. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. I'm going to enjoy every goddamn minute of it. Starting July 19th, they report to training camp. 1 week, less than 1 week. I can't wait. Let's go. Let the journey start. I'm going to just enjoy this. Let's go.
You going to go to camp, make a couple cameos on Hard Knocks? I think you need to. A little Jets chance going in the crowd.
I don't normally go to camp. I don't normally go there. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it.
We need you on HBO, Ed. We need to get you on HBO.
They'll catch me in Canton, bro, when I go see my boy Joe Klecko and Revis.
Fair.
They see Joe Klecko and Revis. I'll be there for the opening night Thursday night. They'll get footage there. That's in the stadium. I'll be there rocking the stadium. Let's go. Rocking the stadium.
I'm super excited about this, actually. Cool little story. Worked out a little deal with this guy on eBay for one of Darrelle Revis's best rookie cards. And Revis is actually going to be in Chicago. I'll be there in a week and a half. He's signing autographs at the National Sports Card Convention, the NSCC. And I'm going to be there with Gary and that whole crew, setting up. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to get this card that I got on eBay, signed with a Hall of Fame inscription by Revis, and I'm going to get it encased and everything. And I'm excited about that, man. It'll be a fun little little Jets experience out there in Chicago. I know I'm on record that Revis isn't necessarily my most beloved Jet of all time, but he's a Hall of Famer. I watched him do his thing here, and I think that I also, if it would have been awesome if Klecko would have been there too. I would have loved to get both of their rookie cards, both signed, as a thing that they're going in together. But I'm sure I can probably arrange that later on down the line somehow. Klecko's around, but I'm psyched about that. I think that's gonna be a really cool piece that I'll hold on to for forever, and see if hopefully Revis will be I'll tell him a little story about how we put that all together. Hopefully he'll be pumped about it.
Jet Nation should be showing up to Canton.
Yes, sir.
They should be showing up to Canton. I expect a full out craziness in Canton with the green and white. So we'll see.
I can't wait to just turn on TV and watch I don't care which players are going to play. Just watch the team run out of the tunnel. There's just so much excitement. I mean, yeah, Ed's going to be there at the
I'll be there.
Yep.
I'll be there, Joshua. I would love to be there.
I'm trying so hard to figure out a way to make it happen, but it's tough.
I'll be there. I'm flying into Cleveland, staying in Cleveland, and going over to Canton. So, all good.
For sure.
Jealous.
I want to have a little fun with before, we're I know we don't have that much to talk about today, but I am curious, because as Ed pointed out, they're about to report to training camp. So we're going to have training camp battles and, all kinds of stuff that we'll have, to talk about in the coming weeks. But I'm curious to get your guys one guy from each of you that you think could surprise everybody and earn a roster spot, and maybe one guy that might get, that everybody's assuming is going to be on the team and could potentially be cut. I'll start with you, Rob. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot.
I know it's a tough one. It's early.
That's a little tough one, especially guys earning spots. Coming out of nowhere, earning spots. That's a little tough one right there. I don't have one for that. Weird enough though, I have like this kind of crazy weird vibe about Carlos for this year.
Stole mine.
I don't really know exactly, especially if he's starting slow in camp. And with all this young blood that's on the D line right now, and his production was there, but not. I'm almost positive it wasn't what they have expected from him from the moment they signed him. So with all these young guys coming in, and it's weird that we were just talking about Jermaine Johnson, and we've got a rookie pass rusher in the mix. It's just a weird vibe that I have about Carlos for this year, and he might be one of those surprise guys that aren't on the roster day one. I'm not really sure about somebody actually making it. Versus a surprise guy right at this moment, because I even think, even though training camp is about to start, in a week, I still think there might be a couple of guys that actually might be added to the roster for training camp. I'm still looking at the Dalvin Cook and situation, and I actually think there might be a couple of safeties and a couple of linebackers actually that might be added before camp or right after camp starts.
Rob, you brought up Dalvin Cook, so let me ask you this: if Dalvin Cook does get signed, and you have Dalvin and you have Breece and you have a loaded room of depth at that point with Michael Carter and Izzy, Zonovan Knight, like who do you think the odd man out is in that spot?
Probably Michael Carter. Even though he's like the voice of the team, Izzy's a guy that I actually think they would think really, really, really high up. As a rookie, you saw what Zonovan did when he got his chance. Dalvin is going to be in the mix. Breece is going to be, in the mix. If they start him out right away, not really sure if Breece is actually going to be in the mix as soon as everything gets going. They might hold him back a little bit, but for some reason, the way the season was actually winding down last year, Michael Carter seemed to be his reps started to slide a little bit. Even though, again, I think he's the voice of the team. Maybe every time you see a camera around or a microphone around, and he's a guy that's beloved in the locker room. I just think he's one of the guys that might be, on the bubble if Dalvin Cook is signed.
Eddie?
It's too early, bro. It's way too early. I don't know yet. I gotta see what develops with this camp. Let's see what goes on first with the camp, and then we'll have a little more input. Right now, it's too early. Way too early. I want to see who actually.
I'll give you
actually sign.
I got you.
What you got?
So I didn't see who made that comment. But Kuntz is going to be on the team, whether he's actually part of the mix or just on the practice squad. He's going to be part of it.
Well, I was going to say I don't know about him actually making the roster. I mean, I think he might be on the practice squad. I don't know if he's going to make the 53 because I mean, you got Uzama, you got Conklin. We're expecting Rucker to take a leap this year. He's going to be a part of the offense. And I think Kenny Yeboah, you can make a case, might be a better natural receiver than Kuntz. So if Kuntz can't handle blocking responsibilities, I think he's probably on the practice squad. The other guy I was going to say was Bryce Hall. Final year of his contract, 5th-round pick. Last 2 years, he's kind of fell off a little bit. They drafted Converse in the 6th round, so I think they've got some replacements for him. And then the two guys I was going to say that were going to make it, somebody mentioned it in the comment. Trey Dean is one, and then Marquise Waters, just two young undrafted safeties. They're both big, they're both physical. They play in the box, so they can kind of help out with replacing Chuck Clark. So I think both those guys have a chance.
Denzel Mims have a shot?
I think he's going to play well. I just don't think he's going to make it. If anything, he gets traded.
It's tough one for Mims right now, man. It's tough. Wide receiver room is loaded, man, and every one of those guys that actually is here in that room right now has played a lot of football. You know what I mean? And
you know who Denzel Mims is going to be this year? He's going to be the David Clowney of the 2010 Hard Knocks, where for 3 years he couldn't earn the respect of Mike Westhoff. He was doing big things on offense, but he could never make the team or actually get on the field because Mike Westhoff fucking hated him.
It'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting one because I still feel like Denzel Mims got a lot of talent. I feel about Denzel Mims very similar to the way I felt about Obi Toppin, where like I feel like Obi Toppin is a really good player. He just doesn't get the opportunities to show it. Unfortunately for Mims, though, like when he did get opportunities, I mean, he was just committing ridiculous penalties, didn't know where he was supposed to be on the field. Like that's no way to earn more time. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. I like Mims though, and I think that if given, the proper opportunity, he's got a lot of talent. We'll see.
If he's going to get anywhere and do anything in this league, he's going to be with another team. He's not going to be here. He's going to have to, catch on with another team. Unfortunately, he doesn't play special teams like a lot of guys do. So that's part of it. Because that would help him. That would help him a lot.
That's a killer
down the line. But just being a receiver on this team, and you haven't really played a whole lot, and the guys that they actually brought here. I mean, you just look at it. When the last guy they signed was Randall Cobb, it was for a reason. He's going to be here. He's not going to be a guy that actually is, just going to be a training camp body. He's going to be here. In the end, he's played a lot of football. He can be the punt returner. So that's big. When you actually have a guy that might be the 5th receiver on the team, if you can do something else, that helps you out a lot. and even though Randall Cobb is up in age and he's been around the league for a long time, your hands are your hands. And if you can do other things other than actually, playing receiver, where you got 4 guys who basically will be in front of you, who will be playing, and he can be in the mix as a 5th. You're doing something else, helping out the team. In the end, they're going to pick you.
Dalvin Cook and Quan Alexander signed this week before the training camp. They're going to be signed, and the place is going to go.
Kev, do you know? Does anybody have you seen on social media? Or has anyone seen what the cap ramifications are of the extension for Quinnen? Did we free up any space for this year?
No, he's staying on the 5th-year option for this year. So the 4-year extension is starting next year through 2027. So the number stays exactly the same for this year, at least from what I heard from Samini.
And that $66 million gets spread out over 4 years, so it's not really a big hit. Start next year, so that's the big number. It's not the whole 96; it's the 66. So the 66 gets spread out over 4 years, and you can, that's that takes a lot of cap relief off the board. And then if they actually get Aaron to actually make an extension or take some upfront money, they can actually free up some money that way as well.
So we got like 24 mil still this year, right? Like we somewhere in that range.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get Quan. We'll get Quan, and we'll get Dalvin.
Let's go. Let's go.
Comment earlier in the week about a guy saying that he didn't think Quan Alexander made plays for this team last year, and I'm like, what? I saw that comment. I just looked at it. And it was one of those things like, all right, man, we need to hurry up and get training camp started because these guys are making some outlandish comments. First it was that, and then it was the Jermaine Johnson thing, and I was like, when I saw the Jermaine Johnson one, I was like, all right, I got to make a comment on this. Like I couldn't let that go. What about Quan? I'm like, and he was a Jets fan. Like he was a literal Jets fan saying he didn't think Quan Alexander was a good pickup for them last year. And he didn't make a lot of plays. I'm like, what football was he watching? Like, did he watch any games? Like, what's going on?
The problem is everybody wants everybody to be like a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like they don't realize you got to have like a team full of like some good players that may not necessarily be Pro Bowlers or All Pros, but like you still want a guy like Quan Alexander on your team. Like I don't know what you expect out of the guy, but he is a good football player, and you need good football players on your team. And the more good football players you have, the better.
There's a reason why the players on the team are calling for him. Like every player that was on the defense is like, all right, we need Quan here. We need Quan here. Like he's that guy.
Pay the man.
And but it's funny because you don't see Quan on like social media calling out LT, telling like Lawrence Taylor he's better than him.
Pay the man.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, hey, listen, before we wrap, a couple of things I just want to get a little housekeeping in order here. Stumpy's and TACOPS. Stumpy's hatchet throwing, TACOPS. I just booked my travel back to Jersey for the opener for the September 11th game. So I will absolutely, not that there was ever a question that I was going to be there, but I'm pumped. And while I'm back, I want to get a tactical laser tag squad together with the 4 of you. Maybe we add Tyson into the mix, and we'll challenge any of you clowns in the comments who bring all your trash talk every week. You put your 5 best together, and we will laser tag the shit out of all of you.
Where's my man Tommy Michaels? No good with Tommy?
He didn't show up. We'll get him on it. We'll get him on a future show.
All right. What are you gonna do? Come on, Tommy. What you doing, bro?
Yeah, we got some fun guests lined up. I've been talking to some people. I'm not gonna throw any names out there yet, but in the upcoming
Ticket Time USA, where you at?
Ticket Time. We got to get Ticket Time on. I had a bunch of questions for your boy. I was gonna ask him as related to what are the ticket sales feeling like for Jets games? Must be a lot different than in past years. Must be a lot more action.
Tommy's got stage fright. Don't get stage fright, Tommy. It's okay. It's all right, brother. I got you. I got your back.
So anyway, yeah, support our sponsors, man. They make it happen every week. Our guys over at TACOPS and Stumpy's, great entertainment venues. Throw some axes, shoot some lasers.
Let's go.
Only other lasers in this area that are better are coming off of Aaron Rodgers' arm. So let's keep that in mind. Maybe we'll get
that bullseye. Put that Belichick on the bullseye, and we're gonna throw that axe over there.
Yo, let's get it going. I love that idea.
Get that axe over there. That's Satan. Get Satan.
We'll invite Reeves to come join us and throw some axes and put Asante Samuel up on the board, man.
Get Satan. Get Satan.
Cool. Well, Kev, why don't you take us home, man? Oh, Kevin, before we go.
Yeah.
You guys at least win tonight? You're showing up 15, 20 minutes late. You guys at least get the W?
Yes, we did, thankfully.
I love that. I love that.
Hot as hell, though. I'm still sweating right now.
How'd you guys do this year? How was the team?
Well, I mean, summer league, it's kind of different. We have all our different levels that just kind of combine. So we just do like pickup games and stuff. So it's a little bit different than the spring season. The spring season was good, though. We were a young team, but we did really well. So.
Nice. All right, bring us home.
All right, appreciate everybody for joining us. We'll be back next week, Thursday night. We'll actually have some training camp news to talk about. So we're finally here. We finally made it. Thank you to everybody that's been all offseason. Talk to you guys.
Super Bowl. It's coming.